Aha! What have we here? Look at this. I just found this in my backyard. Isn't that incredible? Look at that. That's a very small combustion chamber. It's about the size of one of these. And then it's got a chimney stack about that high. Well, actually about that high. So, what you got here is the basic unit is wrapped in aluminum foil and some insulation under that, and it's got the two stainless steel tubes, just old water bottles, cut and wired together. It does make a pretty good combustion chamber. I'd have to say the diameter is too small. I did it as a backpacking unit. You know, the original was a backpacking unit. But it's a little too small in diameter at 2.5 inches, and the chimney is just way too short to get a good draft. So an actual rocket stove has a very tall chimney. Alternatively, of course, you can get a very small fan, like a battery powered fan, that a lot of people use for the different kinds of camp stoves. That'll burn twigs and just about anything, because you get that enhanced combustion. Now in my case, I get enhanced combustion with 1/2 inch copper pipe, 2 feet long and just below. And of course, put your tongue over the thing so you don't inhale fire when you're inhaling. Put your tongue over the thing. Okay, now that's the basic unit. That's the combustion chamber. Right on top of it, I conceived an oven / heat radiator, because the rocket stoves pretty much exhaust into a downdraft large drum heat exchanger. So they're generally got like a 6-inch diameter combustion chamber. We'll use our pointer. And then they'll have, say, about a 3-foot riser, you know, chimney, which is actually the combustion chamber. This is more or less where you load the wood. Then there's the combustion. There's a lot of different setups of the rocket stoves, but this provides a lot of draft, and of course you need oxygen. If you don't have oxygen, you don't have combustion. As far as I know, there is no combustion anywhere in our great planet Earth or in outer space where you don't have oxygen. So that's why combustion ain't going to happen in outer space without a little help from our oxygen bottle. Okay, so we got the fire below. We got this heater that's also an oven. And this I measured at, like, it was off the scale of my oven thermometer. You can see there's plenty of space in there. This is actually a stainless steel pot that I modified. And here, when I put this water in there, when the fire's going real good, it'll heat the water up as fast as any old fire or any old gas appliance. Then the smoke goes up here. Let me see if, I don't know if you can see that too good. There you go. There, it'll exhaust up into there. And now we're going to get to part 3 of this marvelous device, which started out as sheep fencing. And I wrapped it in foil, and I put a small diameter galvanized wire on it. As you can see, there's a very sophisticated hinge on it and latching. Here we're drying some wood. You can see the smoke. So this is like a smoker / food dryer, and it does not have racks in it at the moment except for the bottom rack, which conveniently the neighbor next door was throwing away. Really nice heavy-duty, pretty miraculously fit exactly grill. I put it on top of a couple bricks, and that probably takes away more space. But anyway, you get the idea. You could put multiple racks in there and do some serious food drying and smoking in there. So I call that the smoker. And that, I mean, this whole thing probably start to finish, I had all the designs in front of me instead of having to invent them as I went along. I'd probably do the whole thing in less than a day, you know. Okay, so basically, one more time, you got the fire chamber, you got the oven, which is also a heat exchanger, and then on top of that, you got the smoke or food dryer. And again, almost miraculously, they were throwing away this nice stainless steel. That is only a support. Then we got the cinder block, then we got this stainless steel thing that was off an appliance, I think was being thrown away. Really nice and pretty and shiny, supporting the dryer. Over here, another one. I got two of these, and then I cut out a piece of it, which made the door. I mean, I was like, how in the world did I get so lucky? I didn't buy anything for this. It was all in the trash. I don't know if you guys would be so lucky, but I think this is a pretty interesting design here. You take this pot that was actually damaged, I like to throw it away, just cut a notch in it to make the door lock, and then the hinge is just, again, just very simple wires here, wrapped around the handle again of the pot. I guess that's about a 2-gallon pot, 2.5-gallon pot. And at the bottom, the whole fire chamber is nothing but stainless steel water bottles. And this whole thing has worked out pretty good, and it's a lot of fun. And then when I want to just choke it down, I mean, I usually don't bother to put the fire out. That's like a complete waste of time. Because this thing, you know, is all controlled combustion. It's not going to catch fire to anything. I just stick a lot of aluminum foil in there. That chokers it down pretty good. And right now, the fire's burning pretty good. You got to pay serious attention to what kind of kindling and tinder you're using to start a fire. I've been having a few problems myself, but I think that's because of moist, you know, just humidly moist newspaper. Because around here it's like, this is Virginia, this is like humid. This is like the humid tropics in the summer. In fact, I lived away from here for about 8 years, and I ended up in the jungles of Peru. And boy, when that warm, moist air came blowing in through the window, it really reminded me of home. You know, just in fact, the whole thing, the whole Amazon rainforest is exactly like Virginia, with triple canopy rainforest, just different species and lots more bugs that'll eat you. Except for when you go down to the beach, there's all kinds of bugs that'll eat you down there. Unlike around here. Right here, where I am in Springfield, it's not too bad. I got real lucky. Haven't had any ticks, haven't had any mosquitoes. Got a bunch of spiders or something that bit me right in my bed. But anyhow, that's a little off topic. Let's step back so you can see the whole thing again. So, we're looking at basically a 3-part item. And I had this aluminum piping from lawn furniture. I use that to support the oven. I just wired it on. And then in the rear, what I got back here is, again, for the original stove, the combustion chamber here, I put these legs on here that support and hold it up, as well as there's a grill right here. So if I take this off, I got a grill, and I can put another grill on it and grill meat, or I can just put a pot right on it, just the way it is. And I packed a little insulation between the two, just to keep, you know, smoke where it's supposed to go. So really, the original unit has 3 of these little legs on it. It's very sturdy. So then this unit only needed 2 legs in front to hold it up. At the top unit is the one that gets all this fancy stuff that I had laying around. And I guess if you were camping, you could just make it out of sticks or something. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this. I thought I'd just make it up for everybody, and if someone actually gets some use out of this thing, that'd be great. A lot of fun for me to build, and I just kind of evolved it out of a hobo stove. I wanted to go backpacking, be able to just burn twigs, which is nice. And hobo stoves, you're probably actually better off with just an old coffee can, punch some holes in it, and build a hobo stove the regular old way. Because, you know, why bother to have it insulated and more efficient? You're just going to have to grab a few more twigs, you know, as you're hiking along. Grab a few dry ones, keep them dry, and that way, even if you're backpacking, a lot of people do it that way. Especially some people carry the fan enhanced type. I think they're 40 or 80 bucks. Very lightweight, and then you, with the fan blowing on it, it really does combust better, and especially if it's a little moist. You know, like I was having a problem this morning getting it wet, like I was saying. So, you know, there's a lot of ways to do this. This is just one way. I know it's kind of interesting. I mean, I really enjoyed building this thing. Hope you guys enjoy building stuff too. And this is Michael Meredith at Research and Development Center, Backyard USA, saying goodbye.